fire content.
Not given to me. Somebody had called me. See, I knew I saw chicken.
Here. What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy, the Ghetto Librarian. We're back at it again with another book review. This time is going to be with the Monstress compendiums, both 1 and 2. So in my previous video, I spoke about this one and I spoke about starting this one. So now this one is going to be about how this one went, the journey, the ups and downs, just everything perfect. Everything was great, and hopefully you guys are intrigued to purchase these books. I got these books from Galaxy Comics on 9th Street and 5th Avenue here in Brooklyn. My boy Brian, shout out to Brian, he put me onto this because he knew I love fantasy, I love gore, and just those two went perfectly well with this decision. Book 1 was obviously great beginning. It was a great first step into this series. Very knowledgeable in the sense of getting to know your characters and, you know, just really getting to have your first steps with different situations. Book 2, which we're going to speak about today, was the wildest roller coaster in the world. Like, I can't even tell you the anger, the sadness, the confusion that I've felt while reading this book. I'm gonna put this book to the side real quick so we could just really focus on book 2. So as I spoke about before, you got your main characters. You got Zen, you got Micah, you got Kippa, who I've described as Little Fox. You got Ren, who I've described as the character that I hate the most. And in this book, you really get to see him trying to change things around, and it just doesn't work out. Well, for me at least. In the story, it really plays a big part because he gives her the lead in the war, but we'll talk about that later. You got Corvin, who is the Crow. They call him the Crow of the story. He's dealt with Micah's mother. He's been around forever. He's been her partner since the beginning, but he has some secrets that I'll be talking about later. This gentleman here is the reason for Zen. Zen, I don't know if you guys remember, I spoke about him being the god that lives within Micah. He is basically, he was put into her conscience by her father. The mission was to go back to the Shaman Empress because that is his love. That is who he was supposed to be with. That is his everything. But things happen. Her father, who we'll talk about in a few, is a wild, wild man. So as you can see here, I have my computer here. I got some notes here I'm going to be reading off of. Just a little gist of what the story is. I'm sorry if you don't like spoilers. Do not watch this, but do go support my video, my channel, and also my Instagram page _ the Ghetto Librarian _ like and share my posts. I would definitely appreciate it. We finally hit our Christmas goal, guys. We finally did it. 100 followers. I am at 104 as we speak. A big shout out to my boy D. Thank you for helping me on this journey. It really means a lot. I want to thank my girlfriend, who basically, no matter what time of the day, she was sharing my posts. She was giving me bookmarks and stuff when I needed them. You know, she was really supplying me for this journey. I want to thank Helen. You know, she's my artist. She's the one I go to when I have an idea. You know, she really knows how I want things to come out. You know, I want to thank those 3, but I also really want to thank my followers and my subscribers. This journey wouldn't be what it is without you guys. The excitement that I get, enjoyment of going through a hardship with finishing what I start, because that's always been a problem. Now it's, you know, it's starting to be very enjoyable. So again, thank you guys for that. Okay, so let's get started on the overall, or rather the overview of this book. In my perspective, between the fights and the reappearances of lost family, you know, and twisted love, from lovers to enemies, and from the change of character, is what made this epic. Is not just a regular comic, a high fantasy comic, a dark fantasy comic. It's what truly made this an epic. Simple reason being, the whole point of this story was to save the Arcanics from the Kumeans. I hope I'm saying that right. To save the Arcanics from the Kumeans, who are stealing their magic force. They're harvesting their, I guess, witch trafficking. They're having people birth children. They have the science that makes them grow. As you get older, your force becomes stronger. So they're farming these people. She happened to be one of them who survived the enslavement camp, and she's trying to stop them. She's like the head of it all. She's just really trying to get down to it. You know, she's a high witch. She has the mark of the shaman empress, and she has a living god inside of her. You know, so that's just the general objective of this story, trying to stop the Kumeans from harvesting Lilium. Lilium is the name of the force. So this book, again, like I can't put it into words. Really, it was just nothing short of bombastic. It was just so epic, man. Like, I've never fell in love with a comic the way I did with this freaking series, man. One point that I noticed that was going to happen from book one that happened here. Micah has this motherly instinct when it comes to Kippa. She displayed it in book one, talked about it about her mother, and it was like pulled out of her during a situation with Kippa where she was supposed to save her breed of people that were stuck in a cave. She found a tunnel and had everybody meet outside. But as soon as they went through the tunnel and they met outside, that group of people was murdered in the castle, let's say, in the courtyard, and it was just savage. The way they died was savage-like. So it hit her in a sense where she felt like a failure. So Micah goes and grabs her and holds her and says, everything is gonna be okay. You did nothing wrong. You were nothing short of being a hero. Because of what you did, everyone will always remember in this life and the afterlife that you tried to save them. She did it by herself. She's only a little kid. She's probably like 8 years old. I probably said that in my previous video. She's 8 years old. She did it, and she couldn't stop the force that was coming. So it wasn't her fault that they died. But Micah displays that message clearly to her, and while she does, she realizes that she's just like her mother when her mother used to do the same thing with her, and it hits her, and she winds up falling in love with Kippa like a mother. She just does everything in her will to protect her. You read that, it's very sentimental, and it's like, oh wow, you know, through all of this that's happening, like you still find some time to act like that and be like that, and it was just perfect. Another point that I want to bring up, Micah's relationship with Zin. Their relationship has developed to near perfect, where she can talk to him, summon him right then and there whenever she needed in an instant, and he, being that he's a god and he's supposed to be the destroyer of all worlds, he just falls in love with Micah, not in like a, you know, relationship way, but like with the amount of respect that he has for her. You know, she goes against a lot of things that he says because she believes in him. When he says, I can't do this, she goes and she's like, nah dude, you freaking got it. You have it. You just gotta believe in yourself. And mind you, this is a freaking god. This guy right here, a destroyer of worlds, acting like that. And she's just like, nah, I believe in you. He's willing to put his life on the line for her, which in book 1, he never really did. But yo, this man went at it. In this story, this man was willing to die for her. When it came up to this point where she meets her father. Her father goes by the name of Lord Doctor because he knows how to control creatures like Zin with a chant or whatever the case was. He can control them and manipulate them. And funny story, Zin was founded by her father. He was first created by the shaman empress who was or is Micah's grandmother. This man diabolically destroyed Zin's mentality. This man, for some reason, he knew who Zin fell in love with, and literally while in Micah's conscience, mind you, he went into her conscience with this. He took his lover, Zin's lover, built her out of smoke and had Zin manipulated while she didn't know that he was in there. Then he goes and he tells Micah, oh, you have the eye of the god. Pull him out of your conscience so I can talk to him. I want to see what he looks like because I too have the eye. And she heard stories about this Lord Doctor. You know, she didn't know who he was, but she knew what he was capable of. And what happened? She said, nah, man, we're not doing that. I don't trust you, bro. I do not trust you from a 20-foot pole. My mother spoke about this doctor that manipulated people, and right now this situation sounds like that. What this man does, he chants the old ancient language of Zin and pulls him out of her, and Micah goes unconscious. She's not controlling her physical realm, her physical body. She's back into her conscience where she sees Zin loving on this woman. This woman was talking to Zin and making love to him in his ears that you wouldn't even believe it was possible, but it was all because of this man. She wound up overpowering her father, coming back to her physical body, and managed to pull Zin back into her conscience and said, nah, we're not doing this, I'm leaving. So he threatens her. He tells her, if you leave, I'm going to recapture you, but this time I'm going to kill you. So she said, all right, that's cool, I'm with it. I'm not scared of you because I already read you. I know about you. I know all these things. You took too long with this whole situation that I read you. And he said, no, you didn't. Winds up attacking her. Essentially, what seemed like to me, all he used was his pinkies, and he had her on the floor ready to pass out. And he said, since you made that decision, I'm gonna let you know what you're up against. She regretted it, but she stood 10 toes down with the whole situation. This man is so diabolical, like I can't even. This man was scary in this book. He was very scary. I couldn't even tell you. If I had Micah's ability and I came across him, I would know subconsciously. I would know. I would die by him, but I too would stay 10 toes down and fight him. So now we're gonna go to, since he's here and it correlates to the next point that I want to bring up, Corvin. So again, in my previous video, I speak about Corvin being a high valued partner for Micah only because he knew her mother. You find out his purpose in this story. He was supposed to kill Micah. His mission from Tuya was to kill Micah because she had Zin. She had this god that destroys worlds. He was given a potion, or rather a poison, to give to Micah, and she was supposed to intake it. But he went and he told Micah, I'm on a mission. She goes, what kind of mission? Because I don't understand how you stood around with me for all these months, almost, I want to say a couple years, and I still don't understand you. He said, I'm supposed to kill you, but I didn't because of who your mother was. And I think It's more of who you are as a leader is why I'm not going to, and it's what the people need. So she says, all right, well, if that was supposed to be your mission, I want you to go back. I want you to give me the potion, and maybe one day I could use this. And he tells her, no, I want to see you fulfill this mission of saving the people. He tells her, I'm gonna head back. I'm gonna tell Tuya that I couldn't complete the mission, and I'll suffer whatever consequence comes from that. So he goes back. So from there, you really don't know what happens. You know, he suffers a couple losses. You know, he has a sister who's also a crow, but she's more the rebel in his family. She practically, Corvin did something and she did the opposite. Corvin was the more disciplined child. She was the more free living child. She winds up going to this battle, the same battle that Micah fights, and she loses her limbs. She had already lost a wing, but now she lost her legs, and she basically becomes impaired. But she still talks to Corvin in a demeanor where if he didn't do something, that she was going to get up and mess him up. He starts laughing. I'm laughing right now because this man is so serious. He's so valiant. You know, he's like a knight. You know, he has no emotion, but subconsciously he knows his sister can't do anything because she's basically disabled, but she's still able to speak. She tells him, you keep testing me, I'm gonna kick you. And then in his mind, he's like, with what legs? So it's kind of messed up, but they have that brotherly, sisterly relationship, you know, being that they're the last two of their family. That happens to that. This point meddles in with the last point that I want to go on about. Tuya comes back into Micah's life, but it wasn't Tuya that came back though. It was Micah that went forward with finding Tuya. She found Tuya in bed with her aunt, then has a friendly conversation with her, and Tuya reveals that she's married to her aunt. So Micah's like, yo, what the hell? What is going on? Like, this was never supposed to happen. You were supposed to be mine. We made that deal when we were younger. And Tuya goes, you were gone. You became a different person. I know what that eye on your chest is, and you became a different person with that thing in you. So Tuya finds out that Micah has an ancient god inside of her. And with this war that happened, the Constantine War, Zin, while inside of Micah, comes out and wipes thousands of people. Tuya happened to have been there when that had happened, and she saw Zin out of Micah. You know, she was scared. Her mission was to destroy this god. She found her way into the High Court, which was where Corvin was put into, and she became like the commander, only being because she stood around the original leaders and she knew what the mission was, and she made sure she went point for point for point for point of doing whatever they needed, they wanted, or what needed to be done. She winds up finding Tuya in bed with her aunt, and that drew her in a direction where she now wanted nothing to do with her, which should have been the goal, because what happened to Micah was so uncalled for that really got me upset. So that poison that Corvin had, Tuya took it, and she knew what needed to be done according to the High Court's goals, or rather mission. She winds up catching Micah in a room, and they start having a friendly conversation. One thing led to another, the I love yous, and you need to leave her, and this, that, and the third. Winds up being Tuya put some of the poison on her lip, and Micah ingested just a little drop, like a little raindrop, and it winds up putting her into a coma. And Tuya's there crying, talking about things are gonna be for the better. Bro, you just freaking killed or placed Micah in a freaking coma, and you're gonna say things are for the better? You don't even know if this girl's gonna wake up from this, and you did it without realizing that Micah is not who the High Courts set out to be. They said that she was gonna destroy everybody, she was gonna kill, and I mean, yeah, obviously she killed only because she had to feed this guy, but she only killed those that needed to be killed because they were gonna do harm to everybody. You just do this without realizing that she's actually trying. She's actually trying to change the world for the better, but because you're such a teacher's pet to these leaders that you didn't even realize that your leaders went and spoke to Micah personally, and she told them, I'm gonna make sure people are free, and they denied her from doing that. And she said, I don't care what you say. I know you guys are trying to kill Zen. I know you guys are thinking of ways, but I'm here right now and you guys haven't even done it, so I know there's something going on, and I know you guys aren't gonna do anything, because the moment I summon him, it's over for you guys. Which was correct. They couldn't do anything because they knew if they came in contact to this being, it was over. It was over. It was gonna be over within a second. So what they do, they sent her weakness to go and kill her because they knew that she was in love with Tuya. So what happened? They had Tuya marry her aunt, who was trying to kill her and collect the mask. So the mask is something that I brought up in book 1 in my last video. The Shaman Empress created a mask to basically control the gods, the ancient gods, and there's more. He just happens to be the last, but there's more in this realm that are just waiting to be released. Her father knows how to get them out. He also too needs that mask because it's the key to everything. So it really depends on who's holding this mask. So that's what's going on. She's trying to bring peace to the world, end all the corrupt, kill all the devils. Her friend doesn't understand what's going on because she's so devoted to the high courts. Fails to realize that her friend is trying to save everybody. So all in all, if I had to give a rating for this book, it would be 5 out of 5, but to me, it's like a 20 out of 5. It was just so amazing. The roller coaster of emotion, character development, the relationships that are built and that are built strong amongst each other, the enactment of having to remove negativity from your circle and keeping it out, you know, just keeping it away was good, was phenomenal. So all in all, if you're looking for a book, 100% start this series. Like I said, my boy Brian, Galaxy Comics on 9th Street. This was the best recommendation that I've had. The majority of the time I'm looking for books myself. This was it. I'm waiting for more. I'm waiting for Compendium 3. More epicness, more greatness, more phenomenon. And you guys already know, I only give fire content, nothing less. This is straight fire. What's out right now? As far as the compendiums, book 1 and book 2. If you guys looking to give a holiday gift this season, definitely this. If you have a significant other that likes fantasy and they like high fantasy, dark fantasy, epic fantasy, this is definitely where you should be looking. Again, this is by Marjorie Liu. Art by Sana Takeda. There's other individual smaller volumes. This is all those volumes in one setting. So now I started this new thing. This is not part of the book review, but this is an update. I have my own personal stamp now. This is a certificate, essentially. If you see this in your book, in a little library, the content in that book was fire. That read was fire. I only read stuff that is fire. So you see here, I got a Galaxy comic. Here's the information if you guys are looking for it. This is the one that I go to right here. 431 5th Avenue. Finished it on the 3rd. That's my signature. Whenever you see these two things in a book, you know now it is certified heat. I don't even know if I have it in this book. Oh wow, I don't even have the card. That's crazy. Hold up. Oh, I do. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see that. Alright, there you go. October 20th, 2023. That's when I finished it. Got my logo. Or not my logo, sorry, my signature. So now, to make things official, is gonna get the official stamp. There you go. Read by the Ghetto Librarian. There you go. Pair it up. Certified fire read. I would like to thank you guys, really thank you guys for enjoying my content. I know it's not really a lot, but to me it's a lot. I love it. This is what I do. I want to thank D. I want to thank Helen. I want to thank my girl, Brian, Galaxy Comics. You guys really are fine-tuning me into being creative, into coming out with more fire content. I really appreciate it. All in all, I also want to give thanks to my mom, who just enjoys watching me. She enjoys seeing me on a computer now for some reason, you know. And I also want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for giving me another day. With that privilege, giving you guys entertainment is how I want to spend it. So all in all, thank you all for spending time with me in this video and my other videos. I'm gonna try to do a new video every week, but if you're looking for more content from me, go ahead and follow me on Instagram _ the Ghetto Librarian _. Every other day I'm posting some content, whether it be what I'm reading, whether it be a question that I have, whether it be a quote. Whatever it is, you will find the stuff there. You're gonna hit those bell notifications. Every post, every reel, anything that I post, you will be updated on. And I promise you, it is all fire. So again, thank you for watching my videos. And remember, and know that you're loved. Peace.